So here we are in the basement of my build. As you've seen, I've lit it up with all of these beautiful lanterns hanging down from chains. I think it really pulls this thing together because even though it's down here, it's a rather, well, mechanical and very straightforward build. Like, there's not much room for decoration and everything is symmetrical and stuff like that. I think these randomly hanging lanterns, randomly placed, really, well, it just feels like someone came into a cave, dug it out, and stuck some lamps to the ceiling to light everything up. Even though these don't, give light all the way to the floor, it really gives a nice vibe to it. So here's my diamond flex. It's not looking like much right now, but just a little flex. I should probably explain these hanging things everywhere. So at first my base was at Y level 11. So there are quite a few remnants that are at that level that I have not taken down. This I once made because I needed a bunch of eggs, like a real big load of eggs, because I wanted some wither roses. So I did some research and I found out that if you take a bunch of chickens and you poison them, they will stay at half a heart, and if you then summon the wither, they'll all die. And as soon as the wither kills anything, it makes a wither rose. So I did a shulker box full of eggs, and I ended up with a bunch of wither roses, which I needed for a farm. I know guys, this beacon, it's ugly because it's like right in the middle of my stairs. But I don't think that's too bad. I think the worst thing about beacon is that I've placed it here and I cannot really relocate it because this is the very same beacon that we saw in the start of the video. The one that goes all the way through the center of my platform, so it has to be here. Oh, and yeah, I've made it out of solid gold. I really don't know why not many people use gold. I mean, it's only the latest update where gold has had any use in the form of pigment bartering. But why do people always use a useful iron? I mean, iron you can use for so many things. And even if you're not using it for tools anymore, you can use it for hoppers. You can use it for mine cars, for mine rails. Iron is always useful, whereas gold, I mean, yeah, you just have it lying around at some point. You don't do anything with it. Why not make a beacon out of it? Looks prettier too, although perhaps not in my color scheme, admittedly. Yeah, these chests also have to go sometime soon. And I have to get that all into, well, this big thing, which some of you might already recognize as being a sorter system. If I put stuff in here or just straight up into the water stream, but if I put it in here, it's less likely to get stuck somewhere. It goes through these hoppers into this dispenser, and then soul sand pushes it up, and all the water streams direct it all the way around to the back. Ooh, to the back, over the top of all these hoppers, then across and back here, over all these hoppers. And these hoppers have item filters in them, which prevent items from going in if they're not the right kind of item. And only this last one has no filter, and I know if I don't filter anything I don't need the redstone, but perhaps in the future I want to build another layer on top of it, and then it's good practice if this already has a filter. But that's not right now. As you can see, more stuff just lying around from back when I had this base on Y11. Like these. I know. Anyway, with that behind us, this is my mine. I have one on either side. And I know there's a lot of discussion about what is the best way to mine for diamonds. Well, in my case, I prefer this way with 3 in between and not 2. I know there are some diamonds that I might miss because of that, but seeing how diamonds always spawn in a 2x2x2 area, and then 4 to 8 of these blocks are actually diamond ore. The only way that I would not see a diamond ore vein that is in between these hallways is if specifically these 4 blocks would be diamond and nothing else, and that's just a very small chance that ever occurs. So I then decided that if I did 3 in between, I will see most of the diamonds but not all. But on the other hand, I will have also a symmetrically pleasing middle wall, but also I can cover all of this land a lot easier. And I do grid mining because I just like these. These tickle my OCD just the right way. All these hallways, all in exactly the right shape, and the right way, and the right length, so that nothing spawns. Or should spawn. I really like that. And down here is my elevator, and I see something has broken it. Well, I have a guess. Probably an Enderman snuck in and left a block on the observer or something. I really don't know what I can do to prevent Enderman from teleporting into this chamber. I mean, I've already built this shaft and made sure nothing can walk in or fall in. Oh well, I guess I'll have to demonstrate the elevator another time, because I would have to, you know, rebuild all of this thing here before I can fly it up. Anyway. Oh, I cannot ring the bell. What's this? Why can't I ring the bell? Do I need to have empty hands for that? I can't ring the bell. Oh, I can only ring it from the side? That's weird. Anyway, ding! So, having done that, alright, I guess I should show this. Well, technically it's a super smelter, but it's only 5 furnaces. It's not super. It's not super. It's just a big furnace. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. In here I have, of course, a bed, mandatory for any Minecraft player, even if it's just for the respawn point, and my nether portal. And now I know this could be a lot more fancy, and also that is probably something I want to do in the near future. But right now what's interesting is what's on the other side, or what I've built there. I've built this, well, monstrosity. It looks like a factory hall, doesn't it? And I guess that's what I made it to look like. So, I have 2 things in this hall. One is my honey farm. All these bees just buzzing away here. Now the reason I do this in the nether and not in the overworld is because the nether does not have day-night cycles. So it never turns night, and all of these bees, hello bee, hello, they just happily work all the time. And that's, well, as you can see, it does a lot for my productivity. And this is just what I have here. I have a lot more in my shop. I have like 2 rows almost of honey blocks, stacks of honey blocks in my shop. Well, here's a blast screen, which is good for visitors if they ever want to see my wood farm in operation, which is this monstrosity. Now, I'm sure you can find a lot of designs for wood farms, and I think they work on the same principle. As you can see, I've blown parts of my machine up because my TNT duper is too close to the wood farm, but I'll settle for a little less efficiency in order not to have to go through the whole ordeal of building that thing again, because honestly, that thing blew up in my face like I've lost count. I've lost count, but it's at least 15 times, because I gathered coral for the TNT duper, and all of my coral, all of it, was gone at one point. I had to relocate coral reefs and find new coral just so I could fix my TNT duper, because I had blown it up just so many times. It's ridiculous. But now it works, so I'm not going to toy with it again, and I'm just gonna accept the fact that I crush, well, 1, 2, 3, 4 less leaf blocks every time something grows. Anyway, the idea behind this farm, I think I can explain that real quick, is a player stands here and he plants down saplings. That's all he has to do. So you just keep right click down, you can disconnect your mouse, you can do whatever, as long as you stand here. Then all of these brightly colored blocks, they have fence gates in front of them, so they occupy one extra space, and they push forward and back, powered by, I believe, powered by the fact that this piston updates, realizes it's being powered by these observers, which power the whole farm, and this redstone line. As soon as you build something on it and something grows, this updates and realizes it's powered by this line, and then it pushes this block forward, powering that line, which pushes all these in and crushes all the leaves. All of the saplings, sticks and apples will then fall down into this hopper floor, which will get directed to this dispenser, which shoots them back at a player who is AFKing here. Now this dispenser in the back, well, it's pretty clear, right? It dispenses bone meal to grow this tree, for which I have a storage system right here, and this storage system gives all the bone meal to the farm, which then grows the trees. These trees grow, and a piston pushes out the tree so that a new tree can grow. All of this wood gets pushed all the way over here, where TNT falls down, and TNT now, whenever it breaks a block, that block will fall down as an entity, as long as it's able to form an entity without silk touch. Like, I think that if you would do this for diamond ore, I would not know how you would manage that, but anyway, if a TNT blows up a diamond ore, I think normal diamonds will fall, but it might also be diamond ore blocks. Anyway, the entities of the wood fall onto this hopper floor. Normally you would do this in the overworld, and you would have water streams here, which is also safer with the TNT, but I'm doing it in Nether because I already had this one, and I wanted to, combine farms. All of the wood falls down here and is collected in this chest. Right now there's not a lot, but that doesn't matter. As soon as I want some wood, I'll turn it on, and it's really, really fast. It's like, if you do 10 minutes, half of that chest has been filled up. And here is kind of the same principle for the warped and crimson woods. Let me just break these real quick. Now it works a little more manual than the other wood farm. This is, not really a design of my own, but it's something that's a lot simpler. I have to manually bone meal these saplings into a tree. But as you can see, because of the difference between the nether trees and the overworld trees, I have to use a very different design where I push out this whole block. I don't need to bother with leaf crushers because these things, they're not they're not crushed. As you can see, now I know a hoe would not crush leaves either, but also if I did this with hand, then I would also still get a leaf block. And I would not want that cluttering my inventory. So I just push out the whole thing, and here I have 3 TNT dupers all the way up there, and the 3 of them drop TNT onto these obsidian platforms. Now again, this is in the nether, it doesn't have to be, but that means I cannot use water streams. Now what I've done is place these at different heights, so that the first thing that gets blown up is the bottom half here. Because if I first blow up the top, then the entities from the top would just sit on the unexploded bottom half, and then those entities get exploded as soon as the bottom half gets broken, and that leads to a lot of inefficiencies. So I did it this way. First I blow up the bottom. These are at the same width, by the way, so they blow up the same. They blow up at the same time, and then later, as it gets pushed out further, this one blows out what's left of the top. That's also why you get this odd shape with this overhang. All of this gets hoppered and then collected in this chest. I want to collect some shroom lights in the future and see what I can do with them. They're fun blocks and they give light. And as you can see, I like them. Anyway, the big difference is that with the overworld farms in there, you get the saplings from the leaves. Now this is not the case for the nether woods. You need to grow them from the fungi. Now let's see if I can demonstrate real quick what I mean with that. So these are the warped and crimson nylium. As soon as you bone meal one of them, in a 5x5 area they grow, well, whatever grows on the square you bone mealed, even though this is grass blocks. And this is of course a bad demonstration, but it also, okay, that's a bit weird, it also grows these mushrooms, the warped and crimson fungi, and these are actually the saplings for the nether trees. Now because it grows on anything around it, there we go, right next to each other, warped, crimson, we can farm them in this way. So we have this floor just going back and forth like any flower farm, powered by a observer clock, and a bone meal dispenser right underneath this block. So while it's in this state, it bone meals the crimson nylium from the bottom, and then these pistons push, and then the next stick, a bone meal gets dispensed into the warped nylium. And this goes back and forth, and we end up with a lot, and I mean a lot, of stuff. Roughly speaking, for every stack of either mushroom, you end up with about 6 stacks of other produce, which is the warped roots and the crimson roots. So whenever I get a lot of them, I just chuck them into here, which is funneling these things into composters, and the composters just give out their bone meal right here, which is also something that I need for this farm. It really helps. I mean, it doesn't eliminate my bone meal cost altogether, because I have 3 farms that use bone meal. 3! So it doesn't eliminate the cost altogether, but it does make a nice dent in my expenses. Okay. With that done, I think there is only one last build I have to show you, which is admittedly not that impressive, but it's also part of what I built on this server, and that is what I try to show you today. And it's this little thing here. Now, this design is not my own, but it's simple enough that even I can explain how it works. This is a hoglin farm. So the hoglins, they spawn in crimson and warped forests. Well, actually only crimson forests, because they are afraid of these warped fungus and all related warped fungus items. So, as soon as they spawn, hang on, let me just get up there again. As soon as they spawn on this platform, which will be the only place they can spawn if I'm all the way up there, they then try to pathfind their way away from these mushrooms. The reason I have so many torches is because I want to prevent zombie piglin from spawning here, and even normal piglins. Anyway, they will run away from these warped fungi. They will find their way over here eventually and think they can walk over these trapdoors to their glass and down that stairs, which of course they cannot as long as they're open. So they fall in, burn in lava, and their drops get collected. Now the great thing about them burning in lava is that these pork chops that they drop are immediately cooked instead of raw, so there's really no work left to be done. They also drop leather, which I already took out of here, but that's a nice survival, a nice piece of survival farm right there. And I just realized this is not the last thing I want to show you, because there's one other farm I have made. Again, I used a guide for it, which some people would rather say I researched what had to be done. But yeah, I made this giant glass cage, which is, as soon as I fix it at some point and turn it on again, a ghast farm. I know, why would anyone need bulk amounts of ghast tears? And I don't know, I guess I just want it because I can. And because I like building sort of a industrial district in the nether rather than the overworld, so that the overworld gets protected from the way it looks. I mean, this is on top of the bedrock. The entire nether down there is still as it should be. But everything up here, well, this is my industrial district. And as you can see, a ghast already spawned. It would be more effective, again, if I was all the way up there, so that these are the only spawnable locations. But right now, it's this, and it works pretty well. I've already cleaned it out, but I have 9 stacks of ghast tears already, and really, who needs those in bulk? I mean, they're good to have. They make some good items, like the end stars, or end crystals, that's what they're called, and potion of healing, which both are pretty useful. But who needs them in bulk? Who needs like 9 rows of who needs an entire row of stacks of ghast tears? So this farm is usually somewhat inactive, but since I try to build all my farms in the nether, this also doubles as my personal gunpowder farm, because ghasts also drop gunpowder, which of course I need for my rockets to get all over the place. Yeah, flying is good. Also space is good. Anyway, I hope you all liked this video, and I hope to see you again sometime soon. I hope this test of a video will be to my liking, and I will make more in the future if it is. For now, this has been me. You can call me Emco, and I'll hope to see you again sometime soon. Bye!